Welcome back to Yoshi Entertainment, everybody. So as we all have heard, allegedly, apparently, ASAP Rocky has been found not guilty in the pow-powing, if you will, of one of his former group members of the ASAP group, if you will, by the name of ASAP Relly. Now, this situation was very ridiculous. I'm gonna just put it that way. I can't say it any more honestly than that. The mess between him and ASAP Relly, how it all got started, how it all led up to this, to what happened while they were in court to begin with, it was all just a bunch of immature, prideful, egotistical mess. A quick summary of what happened, the event, if you will, that took place, and the allegations, the parties involved. You have ASAP Rocky, whose real name is Rakeem Myers. He was in a lawsuit with one of his former friends, former band members, group members, whatever you want to call him. His real name is Tyrell Efron. He accused ASAP Rocky of pow-powing him, if you will. Now, here's a summary of what happened, the events that transpired that fueled this and led up to it. Now, allegedly, there's a whole group of ASAPs, if you will, had no idea that these people existed until this trial happened. There's a whole group, I believe they call themselves the ASAP mob, if I'm not mistaken. They were all a part of a group. ASAP this person, ASAP that person, ASAP Relly, ASAP Rocky. Allegedly, one of the group members, unfortunately, passed away. Now, allegedly, this was around the time when ASAP Rocky had already gotten much more famous than the rest of the ASAP group, if you will. He was the one that made it big, so to speak. Allegedly, a fight broke out between him and ASAP Relly because he felt like, for some reason, ASAP Rocky did not pay for the funeral. In his mind, he was like, oh, this was our friend. We all made music together. You made it big. You got more money than all of us. I think it would only be fair and right for you to help bury him, etc. Now, I didn't see anything wrong with that, and that's because if I was in this type of predicament, that's what I would have done. If I had made it big out of a group, wouldn't be a secular group. Let me let y'all know that. If I made it big out of some kind of group and one of my people who I was close to passed away, I wouldn't just let them go without having the funeral arrangements being made. I would make sure that's taken care of. So I don't blame him for wanting him to do that. Now, a lot of people had an issue with that. Like I said, I can only say what I would do in that particular situation. Apparently, ASAP Rocky did pay for the funeral, but for some goofy behind reason, he didn't just say that. Apparently, this is what led to the argument. This is what led to the falling out. ASAP really being mad because he felt like, oh, you didn't pay for the funeral of our friend. You didn't made it big and you didn't forgot about all of us. And this is what opened up that conversation that a lot of people were having. Them saying, oh, you're just a jealous friend, really, because you felt like you should have been in his place. You wanted what he wanted. You wanted to be where he was. I understand that whenever somebody makes it famous, they can't take everybody with them. There are some people who cannot be trusted to go from one level to the next level because they probably don't have a good mindset to maintain you taking them from point A to point B, the next level, wherever, or because some of them might not have the best intentions towards you. Although at the same time, I know a plenty of rappers who are mainstream, who are famous, who plenty of people know, who whenever they got famous, they didn't just let it be themselves. They also brought their people along with them. Now, once again, their people could be trusted. So I'm a little bit on the fence with this mentality a lot of black people have that has run amok in the black community, which really just seems like a crabs in a barrel mentality where when you get famous, forget everybody else. Once again, if people have done you dirty and thrown you under the bus, I'm not saying you have an obligation to them. You're not obligated to help anybody who's not trustworthy or who has bad intentions and motivations towards you. Although if you have people around you who were loyal to you from day one, who helped you since day one, who were trustworthy, who were there for you and had your back since day one, why wouldn't you want to help them whenever you make it big, so to speak? I know it's a debatable issue, but we're going to move on. Again, this was the fuel, if you will, allegedly for this falling out that they had. There's some other stuff, if I'm not mistaken, that took place between the two of them that then led up to them meeting somewhere. Some people were alleging it was the parking lot of a Trader Joe's. I don't know if that's actually the truth. That might have just been something somebody put in to be funny. I'm not for sure. But this is when that video that everybody saw that went viral, TMZ was also responsible for putting that out. Y'all know they're always putting out people's business. Now, their video, they had a arrow pointing to who I don't know was supposed to be A$AP Relly or A$AP Rocky. Part of me feels like they were trying to make a joke out of this situation and trying to play in everybody's faces. Because we all know all of them are A$AP something. So for them to not put Relly or Rocky was just stupid to me, quite frankly. But again, in the TMZ video, they have an arrow pointing to A$AP. We don't know if it's Rocky. We don't know if it's Relly because both of them had on hoodies in the video. Now, there was a guy with locks who tried to get in between them to break up the fight. Then you see somebody plain as day pull out a GUN, and then it was alleged that you could hear the actual shots being fired, but you couldn't actually see it because at that time they walked off screen, or whoever had it walked off screen to do the firing. And the reason why I keep saying whoever had it is because the only thing that really worked in A$AP Rocky's favor in this scenario is the fact that it was hard to tell who actually had the GUN. Once again, both of them had on hoodies. It was hard to tell who was who. It was alleged that A$AP Rocky was the one with the GUN. Otherwise, why in the world do we have a case? Why in the world are they playing in people's faces like this and wasting time and money at the courts? This is where in a trial, Relly alleged and claimed and accused A$AP Rocky of pointing the GUN at him and claiming that he was going to unalive him. And then again, shots fired, so to speak. Investigators said they didn't find the GUN that was responsible for the shooting. And also the police said, claimed, alleged that they didn't find any evidence like bullet shells at the alleged crime scene. Now, Relly alleged he went back to said crime scene to look for said evidence, and he said he found one. And of course, the counter argument was, how do we know you didn't plant that there? Although at the same time, we know that it's possible to not have evidence at a crime scene, either because somebody removed it to cover their tracks or because it's just not there. That also complicates the situation and the case more. Now, on A$AP Rocky's side, he claimed that the GUN was a prop GUN, was a fake one. To combat that, there was audio, once again, of actual shots being fired. There are probably people who can tell real GUN shots from fake ones. And also, why in the world would he pull a fake weapon out on somebody? That doesn't make sense to me. Because you do understand if you're going to live that kind of lifestyle and you pull a fake weapon on somebody and they have an actual one, now you're up the creek. Why would you carry around a fake weapon, put yourself in a situation where you might have to use it, but not even be able to because it's fake to begin with? Two other things that Relly did that they called him out on is, one, not going to the police or to the hospital immediately after, because he claimed and alleged that his knuckles got grazed by the bullet. Allegedly, he wasn't even from that area where this took place and allegedly waited until he got back home to seek medical treatment. On top of that, allegedly, he claimed that he could go back to the place where this happened and find said evidence, that he returned back to the crime scene with his girlfriend hours later, only for there not to be any surveillance footage to actually back that up, allegedly. If you ask me, there were holes in both of their stories. I'm gonna just be honest with y'all. And if he did actually shoot at his friend, then he got away with it. Y'all know I have to say allegedly. Once again, I can't even tell for sure because I couldn't even see who was who in the video. I still don't know. But like I said before, if he did shoot at him, he got away with it. This is why I keep saying the legal system is a joke. Other than that, this case was really muddied by their lack of decorum in court. I'm surprised the judge didn't just throw it out and say mistrial, but at the same time, this was a very high-profile case involving a celebrity who's in a relationship with a celebrity, both of which are very high in the industry. We all knew how this was going to go. But to help y'all understand what I was talking about when I said they muddied it by the lack of decorum, and I quote, "The trial was marked by emotional and combative exchanges, particularly when Mr. Efron, the trial's star witness, took the stand. At one point, Mr. Efron called Mr. Takapina, a defense attorney for Mr. Mayers, that's A$AP Rocky, annoying, which led to a reprimand from the judge." Another witness, A$AP 12E, was asked by the prosecutors about a photograph showing Mr. Mayer's bed with the letters AWGE emblazoned on the furniture. When asked what that stood for, Mr. Mayers, that's A$AP Rocky, unexpectedly interrupted the proceedings and yelled, "Don't say!" 12E ultimately refuse to elaborate. Outbursts from defendants during trials are uncommon, especially in front of a jury. However, for a criminal suspect on trial to interject and instruct a witness not to answer a prosecutor's question during cross-examination is something nearly unheard of in a court. End quote. For some reason, I highly doubt that. Let me start off by saying that first. Second, what them letters stand for? That's what I want to know. What is it that he did not want this other ASAP person to say in court? What y'all got going on? That's very skeptical. Now I feel like there's something deeper behind this that he didn't want out there, because why else would he do that? And also, there's no way that that should have been allowed in the court of law. The person who's on trial, the criminal suspect, is not supposed to be telling the witness or whoever's brought on the stand what they can and can't say. To interrupt the prosecutor while he's asking somebody a question, not only is it unethical and completely lacking in decorum, like I said before, but it's something that they really should have addressed in that moment. Now, I don't know if they did or if they didn't, but in my mind, I could see that as witness tampering. You just told this guy not to say anything after the prosecutor directly asked him a question. What are you trying to hide? They should not have allowed that. I don't care who it was. I don't care that it was ASAP Rocky. They should not have allowed him to go on like that. They should not have allowed him to do that. And again, it begs the question, what are you trying to hide? Why didn't you want him to say anything about that? And what is it about the hold that he has over this ASAP 12 that he would actually sit there and not say anything? That he would actually listen to him and just keep quiet about it, even though the prosecutor asked him. Like I'm telling y'all, there's something about that's not right. That's very questionable. But anyways, I did not like, nor did I appreciate them bringing them children up there during that trial. We said this before. We've seen this before. The most recent example that I could think of that was very high profile was when Tory Lanez had his toddler up there whenever he was going to court. However you feel about that case, he should not have brought his child there. That's easily to be seen as you trying to win sympathy with the jury, maybe even the judge, by bringing your child over there. By showing them, oh, but if you put me away, this child is not going to have a parent anymore. Well, that parent should have been thinking about that before they did what they did. Okay? Were you thinking about what was going to become of your child before you did this? Don't try to become a parent now that you're on trial. That's how I feel about that. Don't be bringing these children up here like this, using them for props, using them to gain sympathy, because that's exactly what these people are doing. Any other time, they don't have these children with them. I know people have noticed this. And this is also for the people who like to say stuff like, oh, well, that's their kids. Of course, they're going to bring them with them. But again, you don't see them doing this any other time. Any other time they're going places, they're walking around, because both of them are fashion icons, remember? Whenever they're walking around in their fashion outfits, you don't see them kids with them. You don't see them kids being carried around on their hips. But now all of a sudden they got the kids around them. We see what this is. We see it for what it is, and it's wrong. Now, once again, I done told y'all the justice system is a joke. The legal system, it's a joke. If you got a lot of money, power, fame, and influence, especially if you're very well connected in the industry and you do what they want you to do, they will make sure you stay out of trouble. A lot of people didn't understand why he passed up the deal that he could have had. He still would have faced some legal repercussions, but he passed up on that deal, and a lot of people thought he was very arrogant for that. They were like, oh, you just think you about to just get off. Is that what it is? You think you just about to blow past this. You're very confident. Well, of course he's confident. Whenever you sold your soul to the devil and to the industry, like I said, as long as you do what they tell you to do, you don't have to worry about this kind of stuff. Of course he knew he was going to get out of it. Also, him being connected to Rihanna, of all people. And before anybody says, oh, he's not connected in the industry, he hasn't sold his soul, I think y'all need to take a look at some of them lyrics that he didn't put out there, some of them disturbing music videos that he didn't made in the past, the people who he surrounds himself with, in case y'all don't know who this person is. This woman by the name of Michelle Lammy, who's a witch who runs amok in the industry. So I don't want to hear any, oh, he hasn't sold his soul, he's not that deeply connected in the industry. It's not about what you know. It's not about your talent. It's about who you know and who you're connected to. So again, when I saw all of this, knowing that he's connected to Rihanna, her showing up at the trial, I already knew how this was going to go. Once again, this comes as no surprise, and if nobody wants to believe me concerning what I said, look at all the other rappers who have committed heinous crimes within the community and gotten off, essentially, almost without consequences at all. Look at the kind of music that they put out. Look at how deep in the industry they've gone, how satanic they've become, what they're involved in, the rituals. I included that picture of A$AP Rocky standing in the middle of that circle with the star for a reason. And this goes into one more thing I wanted to call out. All these so-called Christians are people who label themselves Christians. And I'm not saying it's all Christians. I'm not saying that it's all people who believe in Yeshua. But some of these people out here who call themselves Christians, like I said, some of them are really out here talking about, oh yeah, we were praying for you, A$AP Rocky. No weapon formed against you. He was just a jealous friend that was trying to take you down. He ain't worshiping the same God y'all claim y'all are worshiping. Again, some of these self-proclaimed Christians don't even have the discernment to know and understand that he don't even worship the same God that they do. And that scripture wouldn't even apply to him anyways because of those same reasons. He doesn't worship Yeshua. Meanwhile, you have the actual Christians that's trying to wake them up, even though they're being called crazy and holy rollers and conspiracy theorists. And then you have the non-Christians who are still aware of this. They're looking at the self-proclaimed Christians, the fake ones, who don't have discernment, who haven't taken the time to build discernment, like they're ridiculous. Because they're trying to understand how in the world are you going to apply a scripture and a prayer to someone who doesn't even worship the God of said scriptures and prayer. Anyways, y'all let me know what y'all think about all of this down in the comments below respectfully. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Y'all all have a very blessed, beautiful, and safe day.